Ladies and gentlemen, the United Nations Security Council has condemned terrorism and terrorist organizations in lieu of resolutions on several occasions. In these resolutions, none of the state agents of terrorism were condemned or even mentioned. What's more important, none of the Security Council resolutions ever provide a clear, comprehensive definition of terrorism that could be incorporated by international law. Capitalizing on flagrant international leniency, the United States of America and its allies, especially its regional allies, did employ the Islamic State, well known as ISIS, and Nusra, both terrorist organizations, to improperly serve their policies. ISIS intelligently utilized international leniency as well as American opportunism to strengthen itself militarily and eliminating what it portrayed to the United States as mutual enemies. It is an established fact that the United States did help create terrorist organizations. According to Robert Kennedy Jr., Paul Bremer, the President George W. Bush's viceroy in Iraq, made, quote, a monumental act of mismanagement, effectively created the Sunni army, now named the Islamic State, unquote. Dexter Filkin of the New Yorker disclosed that, quote, the $500 million in United States military aid that Obama did send to pro-American anti-terrorist militias in Syria almost certainly ended up benefiting these militant jihadists, unquote. The American awakening of mortal danger embedded in ISIS has lately been achieved. John Brennan, director of the American Central Intelligence Agency, disclosed that ISIS is capable of making large quantities of chlorine and mustard gas, and that the Central Intelligence Agency has several indications denoting that ISIS did use chemical ammunitions in war fields, namely in Syria and Iraq, and can even export chemical weapons to the West for financial gain. With such a universal mortal danger, it is high time for the world opinion, for the world public opinion, human rights organizations, and peace-loving nations to exert pressure on governments all over the world to rise seriously, without delay, to the level of the imminent mortal danger in order to adopt collectively an effective policy to confront terrorism in general and ISIS in particular through the following measures. First, setting up a comprehensive political, cultural, and security plan to face terrorism both at individual and governmental levels, authorized by the United Nations Security Council and rigorously implemented under transparent supervision of governments, nations, and individuals. Second, approving a comprehensive definition of terrorism as a criminal activity, specifying its ethical and physical elements and verdicts and sanctions to be decided by competent national and international tribunals. Third, setting up a UN agency tasked with all matters and measures pertaining to terrorism as a world danger and the ways to confront it. Moreover, crimes of terrorism, money laundering, and illegal drug trade should be within the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court. Fourth, setting up an international agency for monitoring, tracing, hunting, and referring terrorists to competent tribunals. Fifth, setting up an international rehabilitation fund for victims of terrorism. Terrorism is too dangerous a crime to be left to individual governments and native tribunals. Moreover, condemning and prosecuting terrorists should also be accompanied by forceful measures to combat and prosecute state agents of terrorism. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.